to another episode of Tig's Bits. This is the third show in a row that I've put out with my good buddy, Mr. J.D. Marsh, and it is another good one. I'm already looking forward to having him back on the show down the road to dive into more discussions about barbecue, music, and life. Earlier this season, I put an episode out titled Briskets, where I broke down some of my favorite barbecue places that I have visited in the great state of Texas. On this episode, however, we get some expert advice on places that JD likes to frequent. So you better get you a pen and a notepad ready to write down some of these places so you can try them the next time that you're there. I know that I'm looking forward to going to all of them. Quick reminder before we jump into the show. Breggy Bomb Salsa, barbecue sauces and rubs are now available to purchase online at breggybomb.com, in Kroger's, H-E-B's, and Rouse's. So give them a try and add some magic to your meat. I promise you will not be disappointed.
I know you've done a podcast before. I listened to most of it. I don't know if I listened to all of it. I don't remember, about the best places you ever ate brisket. Or best places you've ever eaten barbecue. So let's go there.
That's right. Yes. Okay. Let's go there.
So refresh my memory what your spots were.
Of course, I have a brisket podcast. You guys can listen to that. It's just simply called Briskets. It's just nothing too crazy with the name. It's a lot of that Central Texas, those types of places that are in Luling, Central Market.
Yep.
Terry Black's. Also just Blacks.
Yep.
They're up there. Terry Blacks in Hays County. I haven't eaten at Franklin's. I haven't eaten at Salt Lick.
Take Salt Lick off the list. That pit there is just for show. That one they stick all the stuff on.
It looks pretty.
It's cool, but it's a good spot to go hang out. But the barbecue's not all that.
The thing that I came away with, JD, and I didn't really present that on the podcast. My takeaway from Central Texas is the freaking sausage.
Oh yeah.
The sausage is dynamic and dynamite, and I've never had it anywhere else.
So that's the German folks. That's all, Central Texas is all settled by German and Czech folks, and they're sausage people. That's what they do. That's how Central Texas barbecue started, was the Germans and the Czechs coming in and starting meat markets and start smoking meats and making sausages. So yeah, it's sausage is a big deal. I'm forever. If I go to a barbecue place I've never been to before and I want to really test their barbecue, and this is what I do at every place the first time I go. I order a 2-meat plate with brisket and sausage. That's what I get every single time. And that tells me all I need to know.
Give me that sausage and give me that brisket, and it really does tell the whole story.
100%. And you mentioned Lockhart. I grew up hour and a half from Lockhart. My grandparents lived south of Austin. And so we'd go up there all the time in Lockhart. We'd have to go right through Lockhart to get there. And so growing up, Lockhart, that was for as long as I could remember, that was the king of barbecue right there, Lockhart, Texas. You got Smitty's.
Yep.
You got Kreitz's.
Yep.
You got Black's.
Yep.
And Black's was always my go-to. But that was the creme de la creme of barbecue.
Barbecue capital of the world.
We're talking a small little tiny town with 3 of the best barbecue places you've ever eaten at in your life.
Kreitz's sausage is on another level of amazing to me.
Yeah. Right down the road is Luling, which is, 25 miles from Lockhart, maybe. City Market in Luling always has been and always will be my number one spot.
That's your number one?
That's my number one.
That's my number one.
So I'm going to go into some detail here about Luling. There's a lot of places that have come along in the last 10 years. I think Aaron Franklin at Franklin's really started a renaissance of Texas barbecue. To really start the craft barbecue movement here in Texas. And it's exploded over the last 10 years or 15 years or whatever it's been. There are some phenomenal barbecue spots around. Are there places that do brisket and barbecue these days better than Luling City Market? I think there is. I can name you 5 of them on my hand, but something about that place is always my favorite.
Yeah.
You walk into that dark, dingy, smoke-filled room in the back and pick out your meat, and the cash register is stained yellow with smoke. There's just cash only, and It's served just on a butcher paper tray.
And your first time in there, you're confused. You don't know how to order. You come in because you're like, well, they take your order here. Like, no, you go on to the back where the pits are.
Yeah. There's just something about that place that, like I said, is there newer places that put out a better product? I think so. But there's something about that place. It will always be my number one.
Dude, how can it not be? Because when you walk in there, I mean, it feels like you're in 1984 and everything is right in the world. Like we're good to go.
100%.
The yellow smoke that's penetrated the inside walls of the place doesn't even describe until it is when you open that door. And
that's right.
And then you're like, oh, this place, this is barbecue.
You go back into that pit room to order your meat, and it's just dark and dingy and smoky and awesome. That's that old school Central Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, the three places there in Lockhart and then Luling. Really, especially when I was growing up, those were the places to go, and they still are phenomenal places. But like I said, Aaron Franklin, when he started Franklin's, really started a firestorm of craft Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
And we're all thankful for it because there are some just unbelievable places all around Austin. You mentioned Terry Black's, which is, I believe, the grandsons of the Blacks folks there in Lockhart. And then in Austin, there's La Barbecue, which is phenomenal. Interstellar Barbecue's up on the north side of Austin. And sausage-wise, that I don't think there's any place that can beat their sausage. That place is phenomenal.
Better than Kreitz.
Oh, dude. Well, Kreitz's does old school beef sausage, right?
Yeah.
Right. The Interstellar, they play with a lot more stuff.
Okay.
You know, they got a lot of different sausages. They might have different sausage every day you walk in there, but damn, they make some good sausage.
Good to know. Can you buy that stuff online?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't think so. It's one of those places where you go get in line.
I know that's the beauty. That's the beauty of most of these places.
Yeah.
Is that option isn't available.
No,
nor should it be. You got to get in line and earn it.
Yeah, you go get in line, an hour before they open. And that's a Central Texas area. Here in Houston area, man, the last really, I'd say 6 or 7 years have really taken off here in Houston. There are some really phenomenal, a lot of places that have made the top 50 Texas Monthly list. Here closest to where I live, Brett's Barbecue in Katy, a guy named Brett Jackson, he runs that place. He learned under Louis Miller, which is one of the most famous old school barbecue places here in Texas.
Right.
He's now on the top 50 list, and his place is phenomenal. Truth Barbecue, which started in Brenham, they have a location here in Houston now as well. Their stuff is phenomenal. They have the best pork ribs I've ever eaten at any restaurant I've ever been to in my life. Everything's phenomenal there. Tejas Chocolate and Barbecue up in Tomball is phenomenal. Pinkerton's Barbecue here in Houston, and they have a location in San Antonio now as well. Phenomenal. There's a plethora of just amazing barbecue spots here in Houston that have popped up in the last 6-7 years.
Well, you promised me a tour of these places, and I'm
100%.
I mean, I know, number one, that your brisket, it probably, I mean, these places most likely don't beat it, but it's more about the experience. That's what we like to go do, and we're doing this.
It's all so good, and it's one thing. I don't have a storefront. I don't want a storefront. I don't want to be married to a storefront. People ask me all the time, when are you going to build a brick and mortar? It's not something I'm interested in. I like doing the catering thing. I like having the sauces and rubs. We do just fine with that. Keeps me plenty busy. It's one thing. I think I can cook a brisket as good as any of those guys on any given day. It's one thing to put out, hundreds and hundreds of pounds of brisket every single day, day in, day out, and do it on a consistent basis. Those guys do a really phenomenal job. And I could name 3 or 4 more here in the Houston area that they just do a phenomenal job.
Give me 3. Give me 3 places. Somebody's listening right now. You're coming to Houston. Where do they need to go to get the best brisket in Houston?
I'm not going to go brisket. I'm going to go just all around barbecue.
Okay.
I would tell you probably Truth Barbecue. I would tell you Brett's Barbecue in Katy. And I would probably tell you Blood Brothers Barbecue in Bel Air. Okay. Blood Brothers is interesting. It's owned by a few, I think they're Vietnamese guys. And one of them, I don't know if he won. He was actually, I think it was today. He was up in Chicago for the James. He was nominated for a James Beard Award as a barbecue cook. So their place is, they do straight Texas barbecue, and they also have specials every day that are kind of a fusion Vietnamese, Texas.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And they do some, dude, they've got some pork belly bao buns that are one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. Is phenomenal.
God. Like that wow. I can only imagine the fusion that could occur.
It's so good. And they do some ribs with like peanut butter on it, and I don't know what all it is.
What?
But it's I think that's their special on Fridays, and it's phenomenal. Everything there is, it's some of it you look at, you're like, what the hell is this? And it's all phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Okay, so you and I are going to start at this place. You just told me that you could put peanut butter on ribs.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I love. I love peanut butter and I love ribs, but I've never combined them.
I don't disagree.
I can only imagine. Okay, well, I'm sold.
Yeah, I love, back to all-time favorite. I love all those old school places, the Lockhart places, the Smitty's, Kreitz's, Flax, the Luling City Market, Southside Market in Elgin, Louis Miller's in Taylor. Those are all legendary Texas barbecue places that have been around for 100+ years, and they're still putting out phenomenal product. And they're just so cool to go visit those places that have not changed a whole lot, because they're doing such a bang up job. And at the new places, man, the sides these guys are doing are just absolutely killer at these places.
Well, that was going to actually be a question I had for you. What is your favorite side that you guys cater that you like to make? What's your favorite side there? And then what's your favorite side, period?
I go into a new barbecue place. If I'm trying it for the first time, I'm getting brisket and sausage, and I'm getting beans and potato salad.
Yeah.
I'm going just straight up. That's what I'm testing it on, right?
Absolutely.
But damn, there's some good sides out there. There's guys doing unreal stuff. The favorite thing that we do as a side is probably elote corn. We do a lot of it, and it's phenomenal. I don't even know where to begin on the favorite sides I've had at different places. But there's a place I forgot to mention, a newer place in Seguin, Texas, which is just east of San Antonio, called the Burnt Bean.
Mm-hmm.
That place might be the best barbecue restaurant I've ever eaten at.
What?
Yeah.
The Burnt Bean.
The Burnt Bean in Seguin, Texas. It is, they've been open maybe 2 years. Now, the guy that owns it, Ernest Cervantes, he's a longtime competition cook. I've cooked against him a bunch. He's whipped us a bunch. But, dude, that place is unbelievable. You go on a Saturday or Sunday morning, they have a brunch. They have brisket, huevos, rancheros, and oh my God, they got all kinds of stuff that's just out of this world. Let's talk out of state barbecue a little bit. I've been all over the country, tried barbecue all over the place. I've done the Kansas City barbecue, the Memphis barbecue, all this stuff.
Sure.
I've never had anything that I really thought was, oh damn, that's good.
Yeah.
There is a place in Panama City Beach, Florida. Of all places, I drove by this place called Back Beach Barbecue. I drove by this place. Dude, I was not even looking for barbecue. We're just driving down the road, and this guy had 2 offset burners sitting down in the parking lot cooking. And I said, damn, that looks interesting. Let's pull in there. We went in, opened the doors, walked in. Ryan Bingham's playing on the radio. I said, shit, this is my kind of place, right?
Yeah.
And they had beef ribs. They're selling beef ribs. I was like, come on now. And, dude, that's the best Texas style barbecue I've ever had outside of Texas.
Wow.
I got to talking to the owner, and he came to Texas for several months and kind of went around all the different places and tried it out and talked to people and tried to figure it out. And he's doing a damn good job over there. So yeah, that place outside of Texas, that's my favorite barbecue. And I've been there now 3 or 4 times over the last few years, but that's my favorite barbecue place outside of Texas. That place is great.
Shout out to the PCB.
He does a bang up job. He's doing it right. Yeah. First time I ran across him was probably 3 years ago, maybe. And we were there at Christmas, and just drove by, and he had 2 offset smokers out in the parking lot rolling, and it kind of caught my eye and said, hey, this looks like my kind of place.
I think I got to make a stop. I love it, dude.
Man, this was fun. We need to do this. I could sit and bullshit all night.
This has been not only fun, it's been educational. I think everybody that's listening now will walk away knowing a little bit more about Texas barbecue, and more importantly, the way that you should approach Texas barbecue.
There you go. There's lots of ways to approach it. Lots of ways to approach it. And like I said, I'm not going to trash anybody for using a pellet smoker. I use a pellet smoker. I'm not going to trash anybody for liking this or liking that. Man, you like what you like. Go eat what you like. That's it. If it's good to you, go eat it.
Well, thank you, JD. I appreciate it. It's good visiting with you. Good seeing you again. And we'll do this again. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, my man.
Absolutely.